Everyone, how are you today? Milady and Iris here. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you had a great New Year's and that this year's coming off to a great start. And I know I did. How was your New Year's, Iris?
My New Year's, I went to sleep around 9 p.m. It was the
Beautiful.
most amazing New Year.
Yeah.
My friend
New Year
called me.
found you
She goes,
rested.
"You have to stay up. You have to stay up." I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna see you tomorrow morning when I wake up.
Exactly. The first will still be tomorrow. You got it. And it's just, oh, the New Year found you rested. That's resting.
Yes,
That's the best. That's the best.
yes, amazing, amazing.
Um,
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year, yes. So today we wanted to talk about ways to stop intrusive thoughts. And it's funny because I've always called intrusive thoughts gremlins, gremlins that fall into your brain. And Iris and I were talking about this topic, and she's like, "What are gremlins?" And I was like, "Oh my goodness, I've always called them that." But intrusive thoughts. What are
God,
intrusive
please.
thoughts? So intrusive thoughts are thoughts that come to our head. It could be a thought that is a negative thought about ourselves, like you're bad, you'll never make it. I don't know, I can think of another one right now, that kind of thing. Or it could be a thought that comes when we don't want it to come. So you're trying to fall asleep, and all of a sudden your mind is going around with, you have to pay this bill, and tomorrow we have to do this and this, and all of this is going on when you're trying to fall asleep or when you're trying to focus and concentrate. Those kinds of things is what I think I mean by intrusive thoughts. Would you agree, Iris?
I do. I also agree that intrusive thoughts are the thoughts that are repeatable. Like, and we know they are there, then they disappear, then they come back. And especially those thoughts that we don't like. But it also can happen when you are cooking.
Yeah.
Or it can happen when you're having a conversation with someone and suddenly you just have that thought. And I'm like, what? What is that?
Where did it come from? Exactly. And we want to stop these thoughts, right? Because they're intrusive. They're coming in when we don't want them. They're not allowing us to focus. They're not allowing us to sleep. They're not allowing us to
They're like a
sometimes.
roach.
Exactly. It's like a roach. You got it. They just come up. So the best way, and I think for me, some of the best ways for me to stop my intrusive thoughts, one is if it's a type of thought that comes up like you're never going to make it or something like that, I realize that my brain is sending those for one reason or another,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to give them their time. I think about it as a little kid who wants to go to the park, and you're working from home, and the kid comes in, it's like, I want to go to the park, and you're like, wait. And then the kid comes back 5 seconds later, I want to go to the park. And it keeps coming up because it's like, you haven't paid attention to me. So one of the things that I like to do with my intrusive thoughts is if I'm in the middle of doing something, I schedule a time to sit with my intrusive thoughts.
It's
So what I mean
beautiful.
by that, yeah, I say, we're going to talk about this at 7 p.m. At 7 p.m., I'm going to sit with you and we're going to discuss what you have to tell me, right? Just like when you were with a kid, we're going to go to the park at this time and we teach them how to tell time. That is one of the things I do with my intrusive thoughts. And then when I do have that one-on-one time to sit with my intrusive thoughts, I kind of become the prosecutor and they're the defendant. And I mean, I'm questioning them to death. And most if it's one of those that you're never going to make it, you're stupid, you don't know how to do this, then I'll question them to death because I want my brain to work out that thought. That's for me. And I know I'm a little different. And then at nighttime for me, if I'm trying to fall asleep and an intrusive thought or an intrusive, you have to pay this bill and you have to do this, again, I think it's kind of like give it its time so that it leaves you alone. So what I do is I wake up and I always have like sticky notes or something like that near me. And I'll write it on a sticky note, even though I'm half asleep and the next morning is hard to read. But it calms my brain down a lot.
That
Um,
is beautiful.
what did you
That
do?
is beautiful. I'm laughing because the last time I met my client that I'm meeting later today, uh, my client is in law, like she practiced law, right? And and the last time we talked, I was like, take your dogs to court. Make them. I mean, question them. have them as if they are a how you call it? What was that? The
A
word that you
defendant.
use?
A defendant.
Yeah, you are the lawyer. You are
You, the prosecutor. You're
you persecute them. And when
prosecute,
you
not
said this,
persecute, prosecute them. Yes. Yes,
so when
prosecute.
you said, I'm like, cannot believe that you're saying that because that was the last conversation I had with that client.
So funny.
So my intrusive thoughts or my ruminating thoughts, how you call it, darling?
Gremlins,
The
gremlins.
rumblings, my rumblings. In order to understand that you have a remnants or intrusive thoughts, you have to have a feeling. Because without a feeling, the feeling is what makes you aware that there's a thought there. It brings you to alertness. It brings you to, oh, I'm feeling this. I'm having this thought. So what I do is that I have done so many things with my thoughts. There was a time that I was like, "Oh, you here again," and I will laugh with it. So that will break the
Yeah, the
flow,
initial.
right?
Uh-huh.
There's another time that I will just write about it. Okay, thank you. Lately, what I do with those thoughts is that I say thank you. You are noticed. I feel you. I hear you, and I know you are trying. If I don't understand why it's here, I mean, why it's showing up. If what I do is thank you for the gift. Thank you for whatever it is that you're trying to show me. I no longer need you. You can go help someone else. So
Yes.
this is how I being the latest approach that I do. There are less and less and less and less and less and less up to the point that it's almost
Yeah.
unless something happening in the environment that triggers a new event or something and trigger again those because no one can trigger out of you what is not already in there. You
You're
must
right.
have to feel anger or loneliness or anxiety or whatever it is that comes up out of you because it's already in you. No one puts it in there. So when something happens outside that triggers something like that, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, you're
There.
here. Thank you.
Like,
You can go.
hello, goodbye.
Thank you. Or what is it that you're trying to teach me? What is it that
Yeah.
you're trying to teach me? I asked
And
the
then,
question.
yeah, and sometimes when you're prosecuting them and when you're asking that question, you sometimes figure out what it is and where are you coming from. And that's one of my favorite
Yeah.
questions. So where are you coming from? And you're right. Sometimes it'll come and it'll go. And you're right. There's moments for a while that you don't have any, and you're like, yay. But something triggers it, and it could be a stressor, right? A
Mhm.
stressor can trigger it. Something that you feel you've already achieved, and then all of a sudden you're finding yourself back in that path. It's a great alarm system as well. If you haven't had a specific one for a long time, and then all of a sudden it comes back up, you're like, whoa, what's happening? What's triggering you? And sometimes it may be like, hey, you just got this new job. You're trying to do this new thing. And this is always scary for us, right? Your
Oh,
brain is
yes.
telling you this is scary for you. And so I'm sending all this thoughts to slow you down. And it's almost like giving your brain that, hey, brain, okay, I get you. I get that you're trying to watch out for me. Awesome. But we're going to try this and we're going to try our best. I would say, do your best, forget the rest. This
Yeah.
is not for me. This is from the P90X guy, and I forgot his
I
name.
love him.
Yeah, I love
Do
him.
your best and
Um,
forget the rest. Yes.
do your best and forget.
Tony Hunter.
John, thank you. Oh my goodness, you knew his name right away. I'm so bad
I
at names.
did his program. I
I
did his
did.
program. I got myself 6 packs and everything. You should see me.
Oh, I did
I
it for
love
a long
him.
time.
I love him. It's so
But
good.
but anyways, do your best, forget the rest. But when they come up, the what I would say for me, the worst thing we can do is try to ignore them or say,
Oh, do that.
I'm not gonna think of that. Because the moment you do that, it's literally like telling a child. It's like just going like, and then the child goes away for 2 seconds and comes back again,
Yep.
asking you the thing. So give it its time, schedule time with that thought. And if it's a thought that you really, really feel is going to make you cry. And a lot of times I've had people tell me, if I start crying, I'm going to cry
Wow.
forever.
Right.
Sure, cry,
It's
cry.
necessary.
You're not going to cry forever. First thing I want to tell you is
And
you're
it's
not going to
good
cry
to
forever.
cry.
It's good to cry. You're not going to cry forever. And three, if you have a lot of things to do, you have a lot of responsibilities, and you feel if I start crying, I'm going to cry forever. put yourself a timer. I'm going to cry for an hour and a half. Put that timer on. More than likely, I will tell you, more than likely, you will stop crying before the hour and a half. It will not take that long. But give yourself an hour and a half to sit with that thought and cry if you want to cry, write if you want to write. Definitely prosecute that thought, right? Ask that thought question, sit with it. And then when that timer goes off, have something positive to do. Have a thing, have a change. And then afterwards you can go get the kids, you can go do whatever you need to do, whatever that may be. Because I understand sometimes thinking about this feelings that we don't like, it's scary. So give yourself a time. Give yourself a time and go through it. I want to know what you think. What are some of your intrusive thoughts that come up? What are some of the things that you do? Maybe Iris and I, we have our own things that we like to do, but what is your favorite thing to do with your intrusive thought? Put it on the chat, like, subscribe. I know. And please, please, please ring that notification bell so that you get more of these when we put them out.
There was mosquito.
I thought it was the child or the cat.
No, it was a mosquito. Oh, by the way,
yeah.
I want to say something before. A technique that I also use is a 3-step technique. Is ask yourself when you the moment you realize whatever it is, ask yourself, is this thought making me happy or is it helping me or is it taking away from me my energy? Decide right there what is it that it's doing for you. The second step is if it's something that is taking interfering with your peace, ask yourself, what can I do? What can I do to change this moment? If you can, do it immediately. Don't linger it. Don't linger. That's become suffering. And the third step is transform it. Once you do those 2 steps, transform it. Get up, dance, take it to court, whatever it is that makes sense for you, do it. And the second thing that I want to mention, March, the end of March, the 28th, the 29th, the 30th, we are going to be on a participating of a Women's to Wholeness
Summit. Yes.
Women's to Wholeness Summit, and you are all invited. It's going to be free. The link is going to be dropped later on, and hope to see you soon there.
Yes, I cannot wait to see everybody there. Thank you, Iris. Thank you for reminding me of that one because yes, I'm so excited about the summit.
Just remember it.
Yes, yes. And it's gonna be 9 speakers, and all of us have different topics. All of us have different, very different topics, I would like to say, which is something that I'm really, really excited about. So we're gonna have nutrition. We're gonna talk about relationships. We're gonna talk about
your topic. I love your topic. I cannot wait to hear you saying the whole topic.
So yes, please, please, please show up, come see us. It's gonna be over Zoom or Google Meets where we'll be there. And love you, love everybody. And I will see us. We'll see you in the next meeting.
Yes. Be good to yourself.
Be good to yourself. Love it.